Hello Virgo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my video, Jupiter in Aquarius, Virgo Must Knows. We're going to go through this nice checklist of what's going to be covered here. In order to understand how Jupiter is going to affect you in its movement, you have to understand what Jupiter is all about. So we'll talk a bit about that. We'll talk about Jupiter in Aquarius, what tends to come from that. That's a global experience, but you still need to know that because you will be feeling it. Where Jupiter is going to go, what area of your chart is going to be lit up by what Jupiter brings and what you can expect from that. Also, what angle Aquarius makes to your placement, because this is going to flavor how you experience all the possibilities. And then we'll talk about the timeline for the direct hits of those angles as it makes its passes through. Okay, so something else, actually, before we get there, two must knows. The first is, I am talking a lot in this video about this transit between the end of 2020 and the end of 2021. But if you are thinking back to 12 years ago in 2009, these energies will have been present then. If you're thinking ahead, if this video is still up 12 years from now, and then 12 years from then, whenever Jupiter moves through Aquarius, it has the same types of effects for Virgo. It moves through the same area of your chart, so this information will be accurate. The only thing that would be different if you're watching it, for the past or for the future, is that the timeline I give you at the end, which is specific for, 2020 to 2021, as far as when those exact hits are, that would not be relevant, but everything else is the same regardless of when you're watching this. So this is just general Jupiter in Aquarius must knows for Virgo. Okay, so now on our list, the first thing we're going to talk about is what it is that Jupiter's all about. Jupiter is the most benevolent and light, we'll say easygoing of all of the outer planets. You might not have noticed his easygoing nature this past year in 2020 because it was in Capricorn, grouchy Capricorn that it does not resonate with. I am likening the energy of Jupiter having moved through Capricorn as like a child getting scolded all year, how that feels, okay? Because Jupiter wants to expand, to amplify, to add. And Saturn energy is restrictive and focused and detail-oriented, and it narrows in. So Jupiter trying to be in that space is not very happy. And we all felt that. We all felt how not happy Jupiter was. Okay, so Jupiter is much more happy just in general moving through Aquarius because that energy gives it room to breathe and to work. Okay, so I think that the positive effects might be easier to see moving through Aquarius than it might have been for Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, so that's the first must know. The second must know is that if you're watching for your Virgo sun, this is for you. Virgo rising, Virgo moon, it's also for you. Any Virgo placement that you're wanting to watch for, this information is actually relevant because every placement that you look at is like a window looking out of your house. Those windows might have different views, but all of those views are part of your total experience of living in the house. And it's the same way when you look at the charts, okay? So if you have a question about that, now you know that if you're watching for another Virgo placement besides your sun, this information is actually accurate and for you too. Okay, so Jupiter is the natural ruler of Sagittarius. So everything Saggy is what Jupiter is about. It's about upliftment and optimism and hope, and gosh, we need a lot of that now, right? It wants to bring options, it wants to bring seed planting. If you think back to 12 years ago, around 2009, what types of things were happening, it doesn't necessarily mean it will be an exact repeat because there were certain factors in 2009 that are not present now, so you don't have to worry if there was some mischief there. But as I go through and explain the ways that this might manifest, you can link back to that time and know that in the future, also, it's what you're slated to be focusing on, basically. Okay, so seeds you planted or that were planted 12 years ago might be coming to fruit now or to flower now. And seeds that you plant now in this end of 2020 through all of 2021 might take a while to grow, but don't feel like Jupiter has forsaken you if certain things don't gel in this time frame, because if you've planted the seeds, they can grow at any time over the next 12 years or beyond, okay? So Jupiter wants to grow, it wants to expand, it wants to amplify, it's additive in nature, and it wants to bring benevolence and luck. Sometimes Jupiter can aggravate a problem or make something seem worse in order to get it out into the open and reveal that it's an issue so that it can be resolved. But it's always solution oriented. It's always wanting to get to the solution. So even if you see a little bit more trouble being made, remember that I talked about this, how sometimes you have to get things out, similar to a cut kind of pussing up and getting all the yucky stuff out. Sometimes that has to happen before the healing occurs. Okay, so next on our list, we've got what does Jupiter look like when it's expanding the energy of Aquarius, okay? Because this is globally, we're going to experience this. Anything having to do with finding your tribe, the people that speak your language, not necessarily your mother tongue, but the people that you get you, that are, you vibe with them. You can greatly expand your social circles at this time. And again, if you think back to around 2009, you might have noticed that you added certain key friends that you still have, or you explored more, or you felt into a lot of different things as an experimental. That's another good word that should be on here actually, is the energy of experiment, where you're trying things on. Friendship circles, online, in person, your tribe expanding, dating could be amazing, especially anything having to do with networking or online dating, anything where you're going out, meeting people, connecting with them, expanding your horizons, and anything related to the internet. If you want to launch an internet business, this energy can be super supportive for that. If you're being forced to launch internet businesses because of what's gone on with the economy, then again, you still have amazing amount of support for that. While Jupiter can definitely, in Aquarius, can and will expand online communities, no doubt about that, it also is going to seek to develop communities that are local. And we will see a trend as we're moving more towards global Aquarian energies that, community development is going to be like in the local level, buying local, farming local, anything where things make more sense and are more streamlined are going to start becoming of more importance. So if you're in a line of work, or you want to be in a line of work, with a sustainable type of business, anything with permaculture, anything sustainable at all of those things are in here, including humanitarian efforts in large organizations. If you're not sure about your friendship groups, you might see some exacerbation there, okay? But again, it's only going to help you find people that are a better match for you, or help you push through issues that were under the surface with friends to get to the healing. Now, for Virgo, the 6th house of Virgo is actually what is accentuated when Jupiter moves through Aquarius, because Aquarius is there. Now, if you've watched my videos for a while, you know that sometimes I explain that outer planet transits can be staggered for people depending on whether they're early, middle, or late degree, like depending on where in the Virgo spectrum you are. But because this year, or this cycle, Jupiter is going to race through Aquarius, go through the whole sign in like 4 or 5 months. And then it's going to get into early Pisces, and it's going to retrograde back in the late degrees of Aquarius before it finally gets out back into Pisces for good at the end of 2021. Because of that pattern, everyone in the Virgo placement is actually going to have this strong focus on the 6th house. Those of you who are September born Virgos, or like 10 to 29 degrees, it might take a few months, like until February, to really start to see this come up, but you'll see the whispers of it even starting now. So Jupiter wants to improve your health. Sometimes it does that by bringing out a health problem that you have, making it worse. Stress management is a huge piece of focus for the 6th house. So if you're not managing your stress, and most people are not, if you're not sleeping well enough to help you manage stress, those types of things will be under scrutiny. But Jupiter will want to help you. Jupiter will want to help you find practitioners, healing practitioners, doctors, anything that you have to do in alternative wellness or mainstream wellness. Anything having to do with healing and wellness. In fact, whether you're learning about it for your own work, or whether you're receiving the work, to help you. Anything with your regimens and routines, okay? So if you've been stuck in a box of a routine, and really, if you think about it, all of us have, with what's going on with coronavirus. But specifically for Virgo, there's something about like your routine being expanded and opened with some new, fresh energy of what your day-to-day looks like, what your office dynamics look like, and possibly a lot more freedom. So maybe some of you are having more freedom because you are going to wind up staying at home to work from home, and then you can kind of be anywhere. That's one way it can manifest, but there are lots of other ways, even just like more openness in the office, more laid back things going on in the office, or getting more efficient with work. If you're self-employed, this can be amazing, amazing, amazing for building or growing your business, okay? If you want to start a side business or start a new business, this is also amazing for that. December and January in general, especially, have some nice open energy. And there will be lots of other points during 2021, but look to my individual monthly horoscopes to track what the transits will look like as far as launches and new endeavors. But I can tell you now that December and January are really great for that. Pets are also in here. So notable things going on with your animals. You might become a crazy cat lady and get 15 cats during this time because Jupiter wants to add to your pet collection, something like that. So many, many, many people will get animals or get more involved with animals or study something having to do with animals or pets or working with them. Or just get to spend more time with their animals or find solutions or something else where an animal might need more attention. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about has to do with the angle that's made between Aquarius and Virgo. Okay, so this is a 150-degree angle. 150 degrees is an awkward angle. And so you will feel that. It doesn't mean that, the benevolence and all of the positive things that can come up or even the challenges that you might have to push through, that's all what it is. But for Virgos, as Jupiter moves through Aquarius, it makes this 150-degree angle with your placement, which often means that you might have to get more out of your comfort zone to enjoy the benefits of what might happen. You also might have to break out of a matrix or break out of habits in order to really get what Jupiter's trying to bring to you. Okay, so it just kind of shows that there might be a little bit more awkwardness there for you, but that's okay. So I'm going to talk about when that awkwardness might be more intense. Okay, we're going to do a little timeline. So for those of you who are August born, you're only going to get one bump of the extra awkward energy. And that's going to be December 2020 and January 2021, like in that time frame. If you are the middle degree, so like September 1st through 10th-ish, or 10 to 19 degrees. Okay, let's put on here August born, 0 to 9 degrees. Okay, so middle degrees, you're going to get one pass, so February, March timeframe. Now the late degree placements, you're going to have a little bit more work to do. Jupiter's working on you a little harder as far as some awkwardness. Okay, so if you're in this September 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees, and in particular 22 to 29 degrees, you're going to get multiple passes between April and December of this aspect, okay? Because Jupiter is going to rage through Aquarius. Then it's going to get into Pisces in May. Then in June, it's going to just get a couple of degrees into Pisces, and then it's going to retrograde. Then it's going to go all the way back to the 22-degree point. And then it's going to go forward, finally to be done and going into Pisces completely at the end of 2021. But you guys there are going to have that, those three passes. And just to kind of show you, if you know your degrees, you can see here what degree is going to happen when. So it's retrograde there, July, August, September. And so these are the degree numbers. If you know them, you can check that out. But basically, April through December, if you're in the late degree bucket, you're going to have the multiple passes of the awkwardness. But don't be nervous about this. Of all of the planets, Jupiter is the most benevolent of all of the outer planets. Like I said, it's already happier in Aquarius than it was in Capricorn, if you're going to compare. So any mischief that it might bring or awkwardness is still super light and can be kind of like good awkwardness. Like for instance, you're wanting your business to work out, and guess what? It is, but now you have to balance home and your health and your pets and your work, and that's awkward, right? So it could be that, it could just be the awkwardness of success or the pressure of the success. It doesn't have to be like a bad thing. Okay, so I always have tons more resources for you. If you're not already watching my monthly videos, I put them out 4 to 6 weeks early so that you can know what's coming and you can make your plans accordingly to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, which is a theme that I have for all of my work. You will definitely want to sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. All of the links I'm giving you are also in the notes underneath this video. If you click on the More button underneath the video with a little arrow, all the links are there. But when you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, you will get my written, and I put a lot of time and work into this. It's a write-up of what the sweet aspects are, and what sweet dates they'll occur, the salty aspects, what dates they'll occur, what they are, what you can expect from them, the general energy of the month, and the most important things to look out for as far as the tone for the month and the most important astrological transits, written into your inbox 1 month early. Okay, you also get 28-day virtual coaching program, Shine, my program, for free when you sign up for my free email newsletter. If you love how I teach and you want to learn, you will definitely want to go to lumelife.com. That's my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUME life.com. I have free courses there. I also have some very crazy comprehensive paid courses, including Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. So if you want to do it as your work or as part of your work, or you just love it as a hobby and you want to go bonkers, you will have more there than you will just be so surprised with how wonderful and comprehensive it is. Okay, so you can see that at lumelife.com. If you want to have written horoscopes by me that are much lighter, not as detailed as my videos, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. That's also a website that has beautiful lifestyle, health, wellness, information. So it's just constantly seeking to help you with your conscious evolution. And you will definitely want to get my book, my new book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, because it will help you to do just that. So if you're seeking to do that, there's this very, very wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous hardcover reference book. I suggest you get it in hardcover and on Audible. Because it's long, you'll want Audible to listen to it all the way through, and because you'll want it as a reference book to poke back into the pieces that you were looking for, you'll want to have the print book for that. So you can check all that out. Amazon has a discount if you're watching this before December 8th of 2020. You get a 20% discount on the print edition when you purchase it as a pre-sale. So you can just search for Annie Botticelli Planetology, and you will find it at major booksellers, at all kinds of places, independent booksellers. I hope you have a wonderful Jupiter and Aquarius transit, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.